I don't talk more when now we're getting back online. Okay, great. Sorry for the technical difficulties, right? Back online, right? All good?
Wait, checking.
Oh.
Who's asking?
I'm asking them to take it.
Okay, I give you the new link.
Oh,
Yeah, they're still there probably.
that is still there. I have to send them a new link.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
It's a beautiful day.
Yeah,
Beautiful day.
sorry, it was running on my data, so it was like
Oh.
too much for me.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So send new link. Right?
Yeah. In the group.
Okay, guys, just quick thoughts, yeah. If you guys can just picture this feeling of awkwardness while waiting for me to start speaking and waiting for the computer to go online again. Just, you know this feeling, right? Get that feeling? Okay, fantastic. So, sorry for the technical difficulties. Now, in that moment of asking, what's happening? How come the stream was cut off? How come? What happened? Internet down or is it? Cannot be right. Oh no, is it my internet? Is it their internet? Oh no, we can't see Scott anymore. We can't see the screen. What are we going to do? Panic, despair, anxiousness, anxiety. Now imagine if you have that same feeling when applying for a job. How would you imagine how that feels? The interview of the lifetime. You're applying for your scholarship. You are applying for the job that you want. And all of a sudden, Wi-Fi down. They cannot see your face, it's lag. You've been kicked out of the meeting, online meeting, like I say. It's like, oh no, what to do? Or even if you're face to face and you just completely lost track of your thoughts and like, oh my god, what's my point? What's my next part? What do I want to say? I'm so lost, I'm so confused, don't know what to do. Right? So I'll tell you guys what to do after this in a bit, because there's a fixed formula actually to tackle any scenario when it comes to self-pitching. Now, a bit back on topic, right? What was the last thing I touched about, guys?
Donuts.
No, before the lunch.
Steve Jobs.
No, before Steve Jobs, before the live streaming was cut off.
The dots.
I never talk about dogs.
The privilege.
Oh, privilege. Yes. Thank you very much. Okay. So we were talking about how you could nitpick certain areas within your degree, something as common as your degree, to be used in an interview process. Actually, what separates you from another individual that has a similar degree or a similar background? What could that be? Very simple. Look into your degree and find a subject. Now, if you register for a degree online per se, or just like check out their brochure, it will show a list of subjects from year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4. Right? Say, for example, before you even register to that degree, you check the outlook, you check the structure, the syllabus, and you're just so intrigued about 1, 2, 3, or maybe all the subjects. You're like, wow. But let's just say you just pick one in particular. Mass communication per se, journalism. You look at journalism and like, wow, I get to become the voice of the people, the finder of truth. And because you like journalism so much, even though you didn't score an A in it, yeah, but because you like journalism so much, you actually find your passion in it. You found it, and now you know what to do. Now I'll highlight a little bit more on this afterwards, but for now, we have a lot of things that we are worried about. A lot of things. When it comes to self-pitching per se, one very main cause of concern is lack of confidence. You might be wondering, my resume not good enough. I'm quite fat, can I still get the job? Is that even relevant? Maybe not. I have to drive really far away from this future job. You're worried about a lot of things. Same here, right? Okay, oh shoot, we were talking about my internship. Yes, that's right. Business development. Sorry guys. Let me re-clarify on that point. Very important point that I want to share with you guys, okay? Very good story, very important story. When it comes to my internship, the business development job, I wanted the job bad. Not bad lah. I mean, like, these people probably needed an internship in order to finish their degree. Lucky for me, there was only 5 other candidates who had a business administration degree or business related degree, and there comes this guy who knows how to sing, write, and perform. Notice how I said about nitpicking, like say for example, mass communication degree, you like journalism, right? But if we don't look at the structure, we don't look at the academic structure, we look something way further than that. Imagine if you pick somebody here who has a bachelor's degree in performing arts, which I'm pretty sure now you do. But if you pick me, for example, if you don't look at my certificate, you don't look at the subjects that I took, right? What immediately can you just click off right like that? For example, confidence of being on stage. I'm confident on stage. I like to be in front of people. I love to be the center of attention even. Now, if you take that as its base, right, you would know that you would make a phenomenal person to act in a role that could not be even relevant in the performing arts world. Which is exactly what I highlighted to my future employer there. I told her, excuse me, let's call her Jacqueline. Jacqueline, I know compared to the other applicants, I do not have the same degree. I cannot offer book knowledge. But what I can offer is my people skills, my ability to connect with the audience from the stage. Now, from the stage, you can only act out within a certain role. But what if I could connect to you, to your clients, with my people skill and just obvious charm? Boom, just like that, I got the job. Okay, maybe it was way more complicated than that, but essentially I got the job. That's the whole gist of it. So now back on track here, we are worried about all sorts of things. Interview-wise, what to say, what time to arrive. Should I go to the toilet if I really need to pee or not? Like many of you in the Masterclass, maybe some of you are at the back there, my good sir, I can see you're probably shaking, thinking like, are we gonna hit a break soon? Can I get the chance to go to the toilet? What if I'm interviewing the fella halfway and then this guy just leaves the toilet? Will I leave a bad impression? So, which brings me to this impromptu tackling session. Many masterclasses do not actually do this, but for the first time, let's try this out. So, if any of you here have any concerns that you would wish to share with the crowd, because like I said, this is a safe space. What happens in this room stays in this room. Unless you post it on social media, like that is a different story. That's not true, okay? So, anybody online even who has a concern that they would like to share with the crowd, and then we will try to tackle it right here, right now. Anybody in the audience perhaps? Any concerns, any worries? Any worries at all?
Worries about networking.
Networking, anything. It could be about yourself. It could be about yourself pitching, going for an interview, or just talking to other people. What could you possibly be worried about? And if you feel comfortable enough to share with the audience, please do. I would love to see and hear your own story. And maybe I can even tell some of my own stories that might be able to reflect upon the stories that you guys tell. Anybody from the audience perhaps?
Sure, I'll just keep this up. Yeah.
Yeah, can you come up?
No, sure.
Oh,
Definitely.
Okay, great. Let's give them a round of applause. Thank you. Takes a lot of confidence to come up on stage. Great. Sorry. Nice.
Yes.
Yes. What's your name first?
Yes, I'm Akib, but you guys can call me Furby instead. Furby, yes. It's some sort of personal branding in a way. So.
Nice. You can tell me about that later.
Yes.
Nice.
All right. So basically, I'm in a huge dilemma now. I'm currently working at a private company in the real estate property, and currently I have this offer of working with the government sector as well. But on the other hand, is that I have to think about all the other perspectives of the job. I have to look for a place. I have to look towards the financial cost of whatever decision that I'm making now. And it's hard to say whether I should go or I should not go, but I believe that I should just go for the government and just leave everything behind. I'll just think about it later on. What do you guys think about that? Yeah.
That's a very good question. I think many of us here, even I myself, might be facing the same problem.
Yes.
To chase your passions and aspirations or having stability.
It's kind of hard. It's a huge decision to make. It's a dilemma that's been haunting me for the past few weeks, and it's been a tough time deciding. But I think really going forward is the way to go, and just think about everything else behind, putting them aside first, and then I'll just see what I can get in the longer period. I think. What do you think so?
Okay, for me, you guys can actually chip in, give your idea about, like I said, in house rules. To those of you that missed the house rules, right? Essentially, it's a supportive environment. What happens in here stays in?
Yeah.
Fantastic, great. So, anybody have anything?
Really, I appreciate any
Yeah.
feedback. Really, anything with you.
Okay, I for one.
Yes.
Sorry,
Sure.
Furby, right?
Yes.
Okay, great. So I for one, my aunt actually told me, since you, sorry, how old are you?
Let's keep this.
So our man here is like 46 years old. No, lah, joking. Okay, so his age is not is very important, but let's just say he's below 30s, okay?
Yes.
So we're very young, right? We're all here very young. So yes, we are.
Why are you looking?
No, just look at my screen actually. So yeah, so in our youth, my aunt actually told me, since you're so young, don't think about money first. Chase what you're passionate about. Which is very surprising because I usually don't have a very Asian tiger-like family background. They are super encouraging for me to go and be whatever I want, including being unemployed. So yeah, so probably that one also I will gonna like so maybe not, but if like chasing your dream, even starting your own band, being a musician, playing on the streets, if that's your passion, why not chase it right now and just leave money out of the rest? But what are you really worried about? Are you worried about?
Because my degree is something very unique in a sense.
What do you study?
History.
History. Oh wow!
I don't have any minor, I don't have any major. I'm studying history in history, in basically everything about it.
Nice.
It's not easy going into government or even the private sector, I think, unless becoming a teacher.
Okay. So I noticed what I said about
Yes.
nitpick.
Yeah, sorry, I have a question.
Yes.
I mean, what made you think that a degree in history would stop you from pursuing what you want?
It's not really what I think because personally, after undertaking this course for about 4 years now, I see that the history is actually the middle part of everything. If you're studying economy, if you're studying linguistics, everything has to do with history itself. It's just that how to apply it into the working or the professional sector is a bit of a not seek by our employees in a lot of sense, really. Especially if you're, for example, if you're looking into going to go into economy as well, or business as well, how do you like to sell with history? But that will be a bit of a hard point to really,
Yeah. I get you.
What do you think that I graduated in? I'm the founder of Cable, by the way.
let's say it's
Yeah.
history as well.
Yeah, to those people that's in the
History,
audience, they
no.
can't see, but yeah,
Yeah.
Founder Cable is here as well. So
No, I
try to guess what she studied.
Yeah. Well, take a wild guess. I think some of you would have known already because some of you have already followed up on like our chats and stuff like that, right? Coffee chats. Take a wild guess. 3 guesses.
Chemicals, eh?
Okay, chemical engineering 2 more. Chemical engineering 2. 1 more.
Maths.
Huh?
Mathematics.
Sorry?
Mathematics.
Mathematics. Okay, all wrong. I studied pharmacology.
Oh.
Yes. So what I'm trying to say is that your degree, whatever major that you have, has got really nothing to do with what you want to pursue, right? And if you do actually do a you are lucky because you already know what you want to do.
Understand.
I didn't know what I wanted the first time, right? So I kind of like bumped around until like I found out, hey, technology space is something quite exciting, right? Can I get further? How can I get further? You start reading about it, you start exploring, you start networking and talking to people, right? That's how we actually get started. Yeah, so there you go. And you just said it, history is a very important part of, relating it to how business is, right? Civilization that leads to business, economics, and all that. If you could say that, you could highlight this to somebody. And guys, if you guys are actually fresh grads, this window of the 2 years, right, that you start work, right, nobody will penalize you for saying something wrong.
I'm not sure if you guys online can hear that, but hopefully, give us a thumbs up if you can. Okay, great. So yeah, fantastic. I mean, just to sum up what Cam, our founder, said, is essentially, I think when it comes to nitpicking, right, like history-wise, you probably... Okay, yeah, great. So you're probably a great storyteller. What does storytelling equals? You can explain stuff. You can do your research. You can become an analyst. You can work in sales.
So if anybody looking for a tourist guide, that would be me.
Tour guide, yeah. Great. I'll be the
That's where you're heading? That's your passion?
I would say tourism is a good to go field in the next few years, yes.
Oh, is it?
Okay, let's chat more about this after. Anybody else? Let's just do one more before we move on.
Can we do an online?
Yeah, let's do an online one.
Yeah, so we just take them to
Yeah.
There's somebody, okay, Muhammad Hafiz says speech disability. How to retain that confidence from time to time?
Speech disability. Now, I am probably the least qualified in this room to talk about having speech issues per se, although I do public speaking. But what I can tell you is that perhaps, I'm not sure if this would be useful to you or not, right? But let's just say hopefully it does, because in my mind it comes out pretty useful. But what I think is one thing and what I say might be another. So please do forgive me if it's not useful. Now in public speaking, what you say is one thing, but the second most important thing to speaking well is acting well. Body language is a key factor of importance when it comes to networking, making a good impression, as well. Sometimes you don't even have to say a single word and someone can just know the story. How you walk, not just how you talk, but how you shake someone's hand, how you smile, or even saying a simple hello. That itself could show that you are a person who might be confident enough to do something without you even uttering a single word or character. Okay, fantastic. Let's just move on to the circle of life. Now, I came up with this very simple way about easing your worries and your concerns. Because in a networking scenario, or even in dating, right? Very simple only. Only 3 things that you guys need to be worried about. 3 things. You, the people, and the environment. So these are things that you can control. Remember, guys, if you studied in public school, for example, I don't know how private international school is, but if you did science, right? Remember science, there are controlled variables and variables that you cannot control, right? So what is one variable that you can control? It's you. You can control how you think, how you speak, how you behave, right? I noticed that I say the word right a lot. It's very irritating. It's a pet peeve of mine actually. But I have no idea why I say right so much. Maybe it could be because I'm nervous. But as a good friend of mine once said, being nervous is a sign that you are passionate about what you're talking about. So yeah, if you think about what you can control, just focus on what you can control. Because in yourself, your frame of mind and you can control that. As long as you control that part, the other 2 things, which is the people and the environment, you don't have to think too much about it. For example, people, right? Obviously, you can't do any Jedi mind tricks to control anybody. You can't use hypnosis. You probably can, but it's unethical. But how do you hope to influence someone to be in your favor? How? Being nice. Ever heard that in the service industry, hospitality, F&B per se, if you just start being nice, maybe in the States, if you smile, you'll have a great attitude. Great smile, great personality. Hi guys, how's your day? Instead of just taking down their order immediately. That itself might earn you a tip. In Malaysia, having a smile, the waiter just throws the plate of food on the table, it probably doesn't even taste that nice. But if the food is absolute garbage, but the guy is an absolute angel of a person, the food itself could taste like fine dining. So, attitude itself, you can only hope to portray a person of good character, but don't just act like someone of a good character, become a person of a good character. Now, there's one thing I do not expect you all to do at all, but I actually maintain 3 core values, 3 core philosophies and principles of life. One of them being chivalry, being chivalrous. I actually have the word chivalry tattooed, which I will not show you, but essentially, I try to be as chivalrous as possible, not just to people of the opposite gender, but to my fellow man. So, yeah, being nice, solve most of your problems. Now, the environment. You can only hope to control the environment. Because if it rains, if your meeting gets cancelled, like this morning, my friend had his meeting cancelled last minute, just like that. So sad. And last minute, no notice, and then he just like, oh yeah, I'm so sorry, something came up, blah, blah, blah. My wife died, my dog died, my dog needs to get married before my wife, some nonsense like that. Terrible, terrible stuff. But if you do not try to control it, you can only hope to control it, why not you try to reflect yourself, bounce yourself back based on the environment, how the environment is treating you. One very influential figure right now, my personal inspiration, David Goggins, right? David Goggins is still somewhat relevant nowadays, I think. He hopes that it rains when he tries to go running. He hopes. Because it doesn't matter what the environment is, he will still run. He will still train. Rain or shine, he will still train. And that's what I'm saying to you. Is that, say for example, you walk into the interview room and instead of shaking the guy's hand, you spill a whole bunch of coffee on him. Sad, right? Over already. There goes your interview process. Cannot work at Google anymore. Pretty bad. Pretty sad, right? Wouldn't you guys agree? It's pretty sad. But instead of just thinking about, oh no, I lost my job already, why not give some tissue, handkerchief, try to alleviate the situation? Now, one environment that I cannot control is, for example, the people of this room. I didn't choose any of you all to be here. You guys chose to be here yourself, right? One very important example, I think, the man at the back of the room right there, he can relate a lot. I went for this thing called IFAC a few weeks ago, 2 weeks ago. So what this event entailed was actually, it was a family business symposium. I won't go way too much into details about it, but I essentially went for a dinner with the primary speakers for the event, for the conference, the speakers for the conference and the organizers. And now these people are very important business people, very intelligent individuals. And here comes me, this guy. So obviously I stood out, quite obvious. I was like a Christmas tree during Chinese New Year. Very obvious lah. So one thing that I did was I literally stood down. I smiled. I had a good attitude towards the environment. I was like really nervous because like, oh my god, what if I say the wrong thing? What if I tell a Gen Z joke that these people do not understand? Right already. But I just try to be as observant as possible. When people talk about something that I can touch on, something that I'm comfortable speaking about, I say it. If not, I just sit down there, quiet, I listen. I don't play with my phone. I'm respectful of the time that we share together for the dinner. And that itself, I think, led to a very good impression of others towards me. But you can only hope to make a good impression. But at the end of the day, as long as you feel happy about what you did for yourself, then to yourself, that's enough. So, when it comes to branding and pitching yourself, this is the second chapter, right? What do you think is the first, not barrier to entry, what is the first thing that an employer might notice about you? It's your resume, right? Something as simple as your curriculum vitae. Now, your resume might differ. Some people have their pictures, yeah? Some people say how many computing languages they speak, and somebody might say, oh, I speak French, German, Latin, or Chinese, English, Malay, whatever. So, would something on a piece of paper be as significant as compared to you yourself? Because like I once said just now, the best story is one that you do not have to tell. It's one that you do not have to tell. So, it would be much better to actually portray yourself in a positive light instead of just submitting and just shoving the CV that way. But wouldn't you say, you might be wondering, Scott, but then if I do apply for a job, right, chances are the CV is the first thing that my employer sees. I can't possibly say hi or even meet face to face. Hence the networking session that you guys are all attending on this 21st of September, where you guys get to network face to face and you don't have to show your CV first. So I'll talk more about branding in a bit, but for now, who here can interpret what this means? Who here can interpret what this means? Anybody, just put these two words together. What is it? A shortcut. Thank you! Ladies and gentlemen, we'll take a short break right now. Great. 5 minutes. So you guys can go do your pee poo poo, get your cup of coffee or tea, drink some water because I definitely need some. Yep. Okay, thank you guys so much. Short break, yeah? Oops, I can't. Okay, short break. Thank you very much. 5 minutes. What time is it? Just come back 5 minutes from now, guys. So 3:55, 56. Yeah. Wait. guys can go outside, get some. I wanted to say get some fresh air, but like, isn't the air just the same? Can't exactly open window here. So, yeah.
It's like cannot continue typing if it's on the right.
It's still on stream. Is it there?
Because of your question. Like just saying this.
Great. Hope you guys had a fantastic short break. Sorry for the puns and jokes. But yeah, okay, welcome back, everyone. Hope you guys managed to get your coffee and tea. Okay, great, fantastic. Now let's move on to personal branding. Now, if you talk about branding, right, I think about brands. The first brand that I can think about is clothing brands. Okay, let's just like pop some clothing brand names in the room. We got Cable brand, right? The one that's not for sale have to be the stuff in order to get it. Yeah. Any other brands like we got Zara, Uniqlo, yeah, H&M, yeah, Bluebird, huh? Burberry, okay. That's out there, and then back to Marks and Spencer already. Okay. Okay, thank you. Great, fantastic. So, yeah, you guys can hear me, right? Okay, great. Okay, so now if you think about brands, right? You think about something as simple as streetwear, urban apparel versus something high-end like Burberry versus Marks and Spencer. Now, to somebody that has never heard of this brand before, I might actually think that Marks and Spencer is a top quality brand. It's like, wow, English name, Ang Mo brand, wow, confirm something high class, right? Burberry looks like a knockoff Apple. It's like because they can't get Apple, they call it Berry instead. Like, what is this? Do they even sell clothes? Now, if you think about that, Burberry is actually like 5 times, 10 times more expensive compared to Marks and Spencer. Marks and Spencer, you can probably get like a collar t-shirt for about like what, 60, 70 bucks maybe. Burberry, yeah, 500-600 also cannot, no chance. 1.2 at least, 1.2K at least. How do I know? I guess not. So if you compare a normal t-shirt per se, a t-shirt as simple as those that have no brands, no brand t-shirt, but good quality cotton, 100% good quality cotton, you get one for 50, 60 ringgit maybe. But if you compare that to a luxury brand, like Supreme, Supreme's t-shirt, I don't own any Supreme stock because I think it's really, well, personal opinion, I cannot say this on live stream later, but yeah, but Supreme actually, as someone who did not do, who did a fair, okay amount of research, I honestly cannot tell the difference between quality-wise, ingredients-wise, between a 50 ringgit shirt and Supreme shirt. Like, maybe this is handmade, this is machine made, maybe this is hand sewn, each thread by thread, I have no idea. But how come is the price almost freaking 200%? Sorry, 2000% compared to the 50 ringgit shirt. Why? Why exactly? Branding, right? It could be marketing as well. How well Supreme actually market the products. But if you think about it, more often than not, you would see a 50 ringgit brand being promoted. Spam through your Instagram feed per se. You scroll through TikTok and someone else is promoting this brand. Like, oh, this is a good quality shirt, easy to wash, anti-odor versus Supreme. Supreme, I never ever see a Supreme advertisement. I hardly see it. Like, for example, like a luxury brand like Rolex per se. Do you ever see a Rolex advertisement? I don't remember seeing one. I don't remember seeing one at all. But compared to like a brand like Swatch or Casio, I see that advertisement like when I was younger. It's like, oh, this is their new design. It's colorful. It's neat. It's nice. Now, if you think about it, you might not even exactly need to be having different quality materials. It could be the same quality, but how you pitch and how you brand yourself can make that edge. You are guessing right now, you're scratching your head wondering, when am I actually going to get to the part where you actually get to pitch yourself? Learn to pitch yourself, which is literally stated fat clear on the poster. This is not, what's that word called? It's not misleading. It's not a, what is that thing that you guys call when like, clickbait? Clickbait, it's not clickbait, okay? Yeah, it's not a scam, okay? Like you come here and then we try to like get you guys to join our secret society or anything like that. No, not happening, okay? So yeah. Now if you look at branding, right? Many of us might come into issues such as branding identity. How do we label ourselves? What do we say to make ourselves stand out? Would wearing a suit nowadays still be considered as way too professional or way too formal? as opposed to someone wearing Supreme t-shirt and jeans. Who will get hired? I don't know. Is it the density of the quality? Is the quality, like foundation-wise, degree-wise, does that even matter anymore? Your experience, does that even apply anymore? Or how you brand yourself and how you label yourself might actually give you that advantage that you so need. So yeah, we've reached the next and last impromptu tackling of the day. Of course, we have Q&A at the end of the session, so you guys can ask me anything that you want. So, impromptu tackling wise, do you guys have any branding issues whatsoever? Let's just now we started from the physical audience, so let's check online if there's any questions per se. Let's give you like 15 seconds maybe. Now, like any questions at all in regards to your branding? Like how difficult it might be to brand yourself. Like if, for example, one very simple thing might be monetary concerns, monetary restraints. Some people can afford a suit, but I can't. So the person with a suit stands out already, right? I don't have opportunity already. It could be your body language. Your body language can help you out. You don't need your suit. You don't need a suit. You don't need the, what's happening? Oh, no questions as of yet online. So maybe you can open to the people that are here. Yep. Any questions in regards to branding per se? Sorry, yes. Sorry?
Lack of creativity.
Lack of credibility. Creativity and credibility. Innovation. Got you. Okay, now, fantastic. Sorry, what's your name again? Shiva. Thank you, Shiva, for your question. So Shiva asked, guys, about credibility, lack of credibility. Many of us here are very young, right? How do you manage to project yourself as somebody who has good value? Now, if you're applying to a fresh grad job, usually the employers already know you don't have experience. But you're fighting against hundreds, if not thousands of other applicants if you're applying for a very popular job. I was told just only yesterday that none of you here study law, right? Anybody here study law? No. So the number one law firm in Malaysia has over hundreds of applicants every single semester wise. And they only accept like two interns for the internship. You know how much their interns get paid? Their interns get paid like 2.5. Okay, I won't say what's the name of the firm, but if you graduated from the internship and you get accepted to work as a junior associate, do you know what's their starting salary? 10,000 ringgit. Yeah, it's 10 grand. Yeah, that's way more than what a senior associate at any MNC would make, probably. 10 grand. Like that's a ton for someone who's fresh grad. Yeah. So if you manage to brand yourself in that light, in a good light, the money will come. Chasing your passions is good enough. Okay, yeah. Sorry, I didn't answer your question about credibility. I'm so sorry. So, as youngsters, as youth, right? How do we actually manage to show other people that we're credible enough? How? Anybody? Any solution before I speak my mind? Sorry, confidence? Yes, that's one. Definitely, yeah. As soon as you're confident enough. But sometimes confidence can only take you halfway. You need actual, undeniable credibility, right? So, what is one way for you to, sorry? Skills. But what if you don't have skills? What if you don't have experience? You're applying for a job, but you don't have experience. Storytelling. So, make up something fictional
But that's like bullshit, right?
Yeah. The dragon ate my resume. Sir, cannot bring my resume, the dragon ate it. Yeah.
How about putting in authentic stuff that you have done from your university?
Bingo.
Right?
Yeah. Extracurriculars. Even if you didn't do extracurriculars, like I said, take from your degree. What interesting experiences you have in your degree? Working with groupmates, liaising with your professor. This shows that you have good communication skills already. That itself could make you credible enough. I am disciplined, I have good perseverance, I liaise well, and I connect my teammates in order for us to complete our assignments before the deadline. Something as simple as completing stuff before your deadline, and as the team leader or someone working in the team, you bring everyone together to meet at the library, to meet online, to discuss. This itself shows that you are a responsible and person and someone who has a good skill of time management. And that itself could be a credibility skill. So just look towards your degree and you will find the answers already. Next question. Online per se.
Isaac has an interesting question.
Isaac, whereabouts?
How should I balance between being confident and humble while pitching myself? How to make sure I won't come off as too arrogant?
Ah, fantastic. Okay, great question. Great question. Thank you very much, Isaac, for your question. So Isaac, I myself actually, right, I am a very, very arrogant person. Very arrogant. Why? Now, I remember I watched a movie, right, that says chefs, right? Chefs have to be very arrogant when it comes to cooking. Because it's their food, right? It's their cuisine. Whereas me, because I'm a public speaker, and also because I compete a lot, yeah, especially pitching competitions. Business pitching. Pitching. YouTube's gonna censor me, I tell you. So when it comes to business pitching, a lot of people will just talk about their product, but they don't talk about the people behind the product. I like to be very bombastic and go say, hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Scott Lam, Chief Executive Officer of blah, blah, blah. I had a startup before as well. So I usually, just simply based on confidence alone and how I pitch myself, not the product, yeah, I'm talking about me, yeah, the face of the company, the CEO, right? That itself got me from like literally preliminary all the way to finals. Finals wise, I let my COO handle everything else. I didn't touch because like product knowledge wise, I'm not a tech guy. So I let my COO who was the tech background handle it. So if you guys want to know about my startup, I'll tell you guys about it, how it failed. So now Isaac, I thought about me being arrogant, right? So how do I avoid being arrogant? Less arrogant. Very simple. Less talking, more listening. Because sometimes, right, maybe because I'm the speaker, that's why my mouth shooting off like M60 machine gun non-stop. So maybe that's why. But if I was not the speaker, I could ask more questions, make lesser statements, but ask more questions. Showing that you are here to learn. Like, for example, a very common question that the interviewers will ask you is, do you have any questions for us? Simply by asking questions just shows that you're interested. It also showcases your humility, your humble side of things. And showing that you're willing to learn, that literally just clears arrogance out of the way, really. If you're someone who's willing to learn and not someone who's acting as a know-it-all, it shows that you're humble and ready to learn, ready to accept knowledge. And that's what makes someone humble, I think. Next. Oh, fantastic. Next question. Any other question? Let's take one last question per se. Yeah, thank you very much, Camelia. Back your page with quantitative and quantifiable examples. Something measurable, like smart goals, something measurable. Okay, I think no more questions from now. How about the physical? Okay, let me go up. I think there was like some questions before Isaac, right?
No, those are quite generic.
Quite generic.
How do you start learning yourself? I think you've touched it.
Okay, any physical ones here? Any live questions here? To the one that just came in, we are talking about branding, right? Physical session, someone just came in. Nice. Better late than never, right? So, yes. So, we're talking about branding issues. Do you have any problems when it comes to branding or not? Yeah. No lah. I'm talking to Santa Claus at the back there.
For me myself, I'm actually a personal tutor, and then I find it a little bit difficult to reach different students other than my own school.
Sorry? How to reach?
Different students outside of my own school.
Okay, own school. Right. But we're actually talking about self-branding. But it's okay. If you have a question like that, I'll answer it later, yeah? Anyway, moving on. Okay, who can tell what this means? Who can tell what this means? People online, I'm pretty sure you can see it, right? What does this mean, What does this mean? Anyone? Faster. Speak out loud. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Strength? No, it's not strength. No, it's actually connected. This one, this one, this one. 1, 2, 3. What is it? Anybody online? Thank you. Somebody said strike when the iron is hot. Thank you. When it comes to your branding, you need to strike when the iron is hot. Are you attending the networking sessions at the back? Okay, sorry, never mind. Okay, for those that are attending networking session, right? If you see an employer that you want to talk to, let's just say this employer only has one open internship position, and you really want to work for that company. But also, a very Lang Lui is lighting up, or a very Lang Chai is lighting up to talk to him. Or there's a whole bunch of people already queuing up to go for the guy. What would you do? What would you do in that scenario? Would you just cut the queue, jump in, it's like, sir, give me 60 seconds, I'll tell you why you should hire me right now. You come across as, wow, this guy, I don't want him working for my company, this guy's so damn scary, he's gonna chase away all my clients, man. Or if you be so courteous, just stand back there. You might lose all the opportunities already. It's like, never mind, I'm better off, it's okay. Let other people go first. It's okay. It could be that, but it's very important to strike when the iron's hot. But at the same time, I talk about chivalry, right? It's very important to be courteous at the same time. You wouldn't do something that your parents wouldn't agree upon you doing, like cutting the queue. Or let's just say, however, I want to get what's your honest opinion on this. If you really want to talk to that specific employer, but somebody else is also walking towards him, would you just run and after him, it's like, sir, wait, give me a chance. Or just stop the guy. What would you do? Tackle the fella. What would you do? What would you guys do? No, seriously. Anyone here? The people online also. What would you do if you see an employer that you really want to talk to, but then someone else is also walking towards him, and the guy's in front of you? Would you go try to overtake? You know, treat it like football. Get the ball first. Eye on the ball, right? Everybody else can tackle. Forget about him. Take injury, no problem. Get sent to hospital. Huh? No? Okay. Let's just give you guys a different example. A little personal story, because I love personal stories. Give something more authentic to the class. Yeah. So if you think about branding, right? Like, for example, what makes something worth so much? Like, this is what you can present. Like I mentioned about how you can pitch and brand yourself better. How to make yourself in a positive light for everyone else. But what if the people that we cannot control? Like I talk about circle of life, right? About the people that you can hope you can try to control, right? When I was in high school was a long time ago, but I still remember this day very vividly. I was actually bullied a lot in high school. Now, while I was bullied, right, I actually trained in martial arts, mixed martial arts also. MMA back in the day wasn't very prevalent. But let's just say I know how to fight, defend myself. But one very important thing that I learned was when sparring with someone, that was like so many donkey years ago, is that as a trained fighter, you should never get into a fight with somebody who doesn't know how to fight. Because you would injure the guy, you might even kill the guy. But one time I was being bullied because I was studying sejarah, history. I was studying history, right? These bunch of people were just like bullying me, like slapping me in the head, until I couldn't take it anymore. I walked up to the leader. The leader, there was like school gangs, right? I walked up to the leader, asked him, let's go to the back, one-on-one, let's settle this. So I went to the back, I thought he was a man of honor, but turns out he's not, Out comes 5 other guys alongside him. I'm like, wow, man. I go hospital already. How do I explain to my father? Then I go back. I know, okay. Ask him, what is this? How to fight like that? Can you guys fight 6 people? I'm not I don't fight 10 people, 6 people, I mean, I might know martial arts, but at the same time, it's like, I think I was screwed. But, now if you're talking about branding, how do I link this back to branding, you're wondering? So essentially what happened was, long story short, no joke, okay? I took down 4 guys. I sent one guy to the hospital. The other fella ran away. Long story short, I couldn't public caning. Yeah. I was one only bullied, but I got caned, How stupid that is. I was one bullied, but I got caned. Why? Because the parents not happy. How come the son need to go to hospital? Huh? I don't remember, I broke his nose or whatever, long time ago. But after that day, The next day I was like, confirm, I am gonna get hammered. The next day I came back to school, I was gonna get whacked by this guy. But no, wasn't exactly what happened. The guy actually walked up to me, he sat next to me and said, hey Scott, let's have lunch together. We had lunch, and after that, from Form 1 until Form 5, 5 years we remained friends. And I never got bullied a day in my life after that. So that actually, now fighting is not the solution to your problems. You never beat your employer up to give you a job, okay? That's a terrible idea. Don't do that. So you can learn this from me, okay? So yeah. Now, okay, striking when the iron is hot. Now, when you think about striking when the iron is hot, personal branding wise, right? Besides the CV and besides yourself, where else do you guys actually brand yourself? Something that all of us here have in common. We use this thing a lot. What is it? Where else do you brand yourself?
Social media.
Social media. Okay, what is one social media that's unlike LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, whatever? That you use it to connect to other people. No, WhatsApp, you talk to people that you know, right? It's dating profiles. Dating profiles, right? So, who here can name a few dating profiles? Like, quick shout out. Sorry? Tinder, thank you. Bumble, yep. Coffee Miss Bagel.
Cable.
No, guys.
Don't do that, guys.
I'm telling you. Oh, you guys go on Cable to find relationships, not find jobs, Oh, you know. Fantastic. So, now if you look at your dating, right? When you're dating, what is so important? Good profile picture and your dating profile. So, I kid you not, I obviously didn't copy paste. I can copy paste some of it. But let me introduce you guys to my dating profile. This is literally the same picture I used for all my dating applications. When you swipe on me, right, this is the first picture that you see. Okay? And these are some of my dating qualities that I want to share with you guys. See any of you guys interested or not? No. Okay. No, people online can see my right. Okay, number one. I love photography, taking pictures, because it really enhances the creative side of me. I love taking pictures of birds, of people, And also, when I think about first dates, right, I think about picnics, going to Putrajaya Park or the Padana Botanical Gardens, laying out some picnic mat, and I'll make some sandwiches, orange juice. Because who the hell takes anyone to the movies nowadays for a first date? Anyone here?
God.
Yeah, Nan still in cinemas, please go and watch. So, I'm also I'm a responsive person to text. If you message me now, obviously I won't reply but I'll reply to you as soon as possible, so I'm reliable. I also roll with the punches. If last minute I got meeting you are meeting cancel something like that your dog died your mother died right? It's okay, I can postpone the day I'm okay, I'm easygoing. And number 5, I like to share my dreams and aspirations with the other person. I don't think about anything casual. I'm in there for the long run. Serious But what if I tell you guys, right, that these might be my dating qualities? No, these are my dating qualities. But what if you can actually use your dating qualities, right, to brand yourself? I mean, if you think yourself as someone who's a very good potential soulmate, a very good potential partner, how do you label yourself? You obviously want to say all the good things about you, right? But if you can say all the good things about you, but when it comes to personal branding, you're having difficulties, you're facing an obstacle. Why is that? Different mindset, right? Maybe because you're so desperate, you need a partner. So you label all your qualities really nicely. But then when it comes to finding an employee, you gotta find a job, but you rather find girlfriend, boyfriend. So, just a quick check. People on, this one I have to say for people physical, because I don't think you guys can do that online. But anyone here who's brave enough to share their dating profile with us? Anyone here who actively uses a dating application to share? Now, I shared you mine already. If you just so happen to find Scott, right, this is literally what it says, So anybody here want to share their Tinder bio or whatever? Anybody? Never use. Remember, I said don't lie, right? Okay, never mind. So, if you notice, these are actually qualities that are very useful when it comes to applying for a job even. How exactly? Well, very simple. Snapping up pictures. It shows my creative side. I'm creative, which means I'm probably useful when it comes to marketing. When it comes to figure out the angles on how to market myself properly, or how to taking a good picture doesn't mean that you're a good photographer. It could be that you have a good mind mapping skill. Not mind mapping, you have a good skill of mapping things out. Number two, first dates equals picnics. That means I think out of the box. I don't think like a normal fresh graduate per se. I have different views of the world, different perspectives that I can offer to you. Number three, fast response to text. I'm responsive. What does that mean? Responsive, responsible. I am a responsible individual. You can rely on me to handle high pressure projects. You can rely on me to get the job done. Number four, roll with the punches. This simply means that I'm adaptable, I'm resilient. I have the grit to hold on when it's tough, when it's slippery, when it's wet. I'm trying to stay on the ground as fluid as possible. I'm okay if it rains or shines, I'll be there. I'll roll with the punches. Number five, share my dreams and aspirations. A lot of employers nowadays might ask you the question, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? I got asked that as well. So, sharing your dreams and aspirations with your partner, like saying you want a serious relationship, you want something casual, whatever it is, don't tell your employer that you want something casual or something serious, probably something serious. Sorry, that was a very bad joke. But yeah, when it comes to employer, right, you want to share what you aspire to become within their company, what you can offer to do for them, with them. You wish you are dating apps? It's free of charge. It's free of charge. Don't know how to pronounce it. Even. Yeah, it's free of charge. You can just check it out. And if you have a hard time listing out your branding qualities, or even on your CV or whatever, go on a dating site and you think about, how do I want my future soulmate, my future wife, my future husband to look at me? Think about that and just literally copy paste that to your CV. Obviously, change a few words, but yeah, literally the same thing. Now, change of question a bit. Now we're getting into the pitching part. Pitching part, what does this have to do with pitching? What is the national drink of Malaysia, guys? Please tell me you know this. 3, 2, 1. Teh tarik. Thank you very much. Sorry, what were you trying to say?
It's either white coffee or teh tarik.
I do what? Huh?
From Ipoh, is it?
No.
What the? White coffee or teh tarik? How is it? Okay, never mind. It's not. How is it now? Thank you, Nabila. Yes, teh tarik. Okay, yeah, it's teh tarik. Okay, the national drink of Malaysia is teh tarik, and I introduced to you guys. Now this one is all rights reserved. Cannot simply post anywhere. But I can share with your friends now. I introduced to you guys. The tarik pitching system. I designed this myself with the help of a very good friend that loves teh tarik. This guy, my friend, right? He scoops 6 scoops of brown sugar towards his coffee, Like, what's the point of drinking even at this rate? 6 teaspoons, okay, not tablespoons. Okay, so the teh tarik pitching system. Now, if you think about teh tarik, what are the core ingredients that you guys can think about? The first main ingredient, teh. Thank you. Tea. It's in the name, teh tarik. Very important. So, but before the tea, you have something more than tea, right? Something that maintains the neutrality of things. Water. Which reminds me, I need to drink some water. Because if not, my sore throat will really be the next day. I'll work already, I have to take MC. Fantastic. So, if you think about it, the neutrality, the foundation, right? The foundation, the neutrality, the stability. What is this? What does water represent? Your degree, your background, your experience. Next, the intensity, the tea, the strength. Okay? It equals the ambition. Because certain people might use, obviously, when it comes to teh tarik, people use black tea. They will definitely use black tea because why? It has the kick, the oomph, the strength. So what separates this? It could be your extracurricular achievements. It could be what you specialize within that degree. You ace the presentation, you ace the thesis, for example. The complexity. Like my friend who adds 6 teaspoons of sugar, I cannot emphasize how much sugar he adds. Right? It's the level of sweetness. What does the level of sweetness mean? Charisma, character, your attitude towards things. And also, having that sweetness, it counters the heat, the intensity. Right? It balances things out. Yep. Fantastic. Great. I'm sorry, house rules, yeah? I hope you're either typing something to post on Instagram or either you're using my personal branding qualities to message your future girlfriend. I really respect that. You want to go on Tinder right now today? Can do it later lah, but if the fella is online, might as well do it now, right? Okay, so the uniqueness. So every single place that sells teh tarik, Kopitiam, Mama, whatever, or even there's a place called the Teh Tarik place. I'm not sure if it's still around. Is that still around? You guys know it? The Teh Tarik place. Still here, right? So every Teh Tarik place is based on a pool. And each pool makes it unique. Why? The pool aerates the Teh Tarik. Right? Some might say it might dilute it, it might increase the flavor, it might give it more texture, the creaminess, whatever. So the uniqueness is literally what value can you provide? Your confidence, like I said, can only take you halfway. But what value can you provide? Not just on your degree, but like I said it 3 times already, I've said it 4 times already, I'll say it 5 the 5th time. Okay? You can nitpick within your degree what experience you might have within the degree, working with difficult teammates, getting your projects done in time, finishing your FYP. That itself is the value that you can provide to your future employer. So now this brings it all together, mumbo jumbo, the teh tarik, the tea, the sweetness, the water, the foundation, everything. But how does all of this culminate into the pitching system? Well, it's very simple, very simple. This is a 30 to 60 second way of how you can pitch yourself using teh tarik, as simple as teh tarik. Okay? You have your foundation, your base, and your background. Okay? Now you guys can take a picture of this. Yeah, most definitely. Go ahead. Or if you guys are feeling hardworking, you can write it down also. Yeah. Yeah, thank you everyone. Yes, teh tarik place still around. I want to go there, man. This is still where is it? So yeah, for the base and background, you talk about what you're studying. Because that is literally, if you don't, okay, unlike if you're someone who has working experience and you're not even a fresh graduate yet, I really salute you because you work hard. Like I worked a full-time job while studying. Yeah, that was something really, really hard, let me tell you. So for those of the people here who have worked full-time jobs like me, right, while studying, although I only did it for a few months, after that I resigned, I had to focus on my exams. But like, if you actually work, then you have the experience to say, I juggled my time between working and studying. You could do that. That is literally your base and your background already. And it also brings towards your strength. Because I'm so ambitious, Not just only I want to finish my degree, but I also want to do something relevant to my degree. I want to do something totally absurd. Like while studying a bachelor's degree in pharmacology, right? All of a sudden, I decide to become a magician on the side, pulling rabbits out of my top hat. That could be something. It could be something. It could be a full-time job. Shows that you can juggle things. Now, what does magic have to do with pharmacology? I leave that to you now. You can figure out something. Yeah. Now, strength and ambition. You talk about you want to specialize in something, or if you're passionate about something else, you're already doing it. I work part-time jobs on the weekend. I visit conferences, expo during my free time related to my background. Right. So, for example, I am studying a degree in advanced management. I also specialize in organizing tech conferences. Therefore, I go to tech conferences, blah, blah, blah. It's as simple as that. Okay, now, third one. This is the general one. LOS, your level of sweetness and your attitude. It can be used throughout the conversation. The minute that you not even open your mouth, like I said, not even when you open your mouth, you approach the guy, you smile, you reach out for a handshake, like, excuse me, sir, how are you? How's your day? Fantastic. Your attitude itself will already get you halfway. You're already halfway to the finish line, guys, simply by having a good attitude in itself. Now, the last part, value and confidence. The value that you bring. What can you provide for the company? I'm mainly stating this because the networking session happening on the 21st of September, if you see an employer and you already did your research, you know what jobs they're hiring for. Even if you don't know, you can say, I'll give you an example of this. Yeah. So you can say, are there any opportunities within your company that I can fit into? So this is the example. You can compare and contrast the previous slide and this slide. Take a picture of this. This is literally Malaysian culture, spoon feeding. Yeah. Yeah. My time also don't have this, My time is literally not that far from you. Maybe 1-2 years difference. I don't know. But yeah, this is literally the blueprint of what to say. How to say. How to say it. What to say. Not the how, what to say. Okay, the how I leave it to you, how you want to do this. Fantastic. So you guys can go through this. This is literally exactly what I just said just now. Right? Not exactly the same example, but thank you to I don't know how to pronounce your name, but yeah, give your heart. Nice. Nice. Okay, so to those of you that are studying something more technical per se, something that requires literally either experience or something that is so niche, like not even history. I wouldn't say history is like that technical. Like I would say something as technical as like a chemical engineering or electrical engineering, something like an engineering degree or okay, fine history counts on niche right? Architectural degree, stuff like that, right? It's literally the same concept, okay? But different things is here. Difference is here, experience. Let's just say, if you're studying a bachelor's degree in architecture, you're obviously not going to have been building any buildings before yet. You haven't designed anything yet. Maybe you haven't designed something, but you haven't executed any projects yet, right? So, experience. It's as simple as learning stuff online. It's like, oh, I actually watched this documentary. Then you're like, what? A documentary? So simple. So many people watched this documentary before. But just because many people actually watch it doesn't mean they actually learn something from it. You can use something as simple as watching something and say that because I watched this thing, I learned this and that from it. Like my degree. Because I studied this degree, I studied this subject within that degree, and through there, you can finish it. So, next point, the complexity, right? The sweetness, The sweetness is whether you're accountable or not. Like Shiva at the back there said, credibility, lack of credibility, right? What are you actively doing to fight for your credibility, for your accountability? What are you doing? You might say, oh, I'm already doing my degree, yeah. Everyone else is doing the degree also. What else are you doing on the side? If you're saying that you did, if you're studying something technical, I'm not a tech person, so I wouldn't know. But let's just say that if you're studying computer science or IT, and then what are you actively doing besides your degree? You could be learning a different computing language. It's like, I'm actively learning this, I'm pursuing a certification in this. That's good enough. It shows that you're actively interested, chasing your passions. Yeah. Coming on to trade, what can you offer? It's the same thing, but you have to be more precise as compared to the general person. Because if you're so niche, right, you probably would work within that specific sector unless you want to jump from literally, like for example, cybersecurity. You want to jump to becoming an actor, or okay, maybe not an actor lah. You want to jump to being an accountant, but that one also cannot. You need certification to become an accountant. What is something that you don't need certification for? Like say for example, events management. But you study computer science. You can say that I'm hard work, I'm certified in this and that. And through that itself, ladies and gentlemen, you can trust me to handle stuff that requires analytical skills. So this is the blueprint example, or the technical one. Just took a quick look. It's almost the same thing. This is literally what I just said just now. I'm actively learning computing languages, Yeah. Okay, now you notice these two brackets, right? I strongly believe that my determination skills can make a difference in a specific department because the person that you're talking to, they might be hiring, but they might not be the hirer per se. So you need to specifically highlight which department you want to work in for that company. So essentially, do your research lah. Okay? So unlike, for example, if you're applying for a job at McDonald's per se, you've probably done enough research because you've been doing your research your entire life, right? But if you're applying for a very SME per se, or even a startup, if you did your background research on the company itself will give you a significant boost. And knowing what you want, say for example, like relationships, right? When you are dating someone, you're going out on a few dates already, and you're just thinking, okay, I'm still undecided. I don't know what I want out of this relationship yet. I don't know. I really don't know what I want out of this relationship. So it's the same thing. Having a good mindset in the beginning, finding your objectivity, your purpose. When you're talking to your employer, I say, okay, I have these skills, I have experience in this, I'm actively pursuing this, I'm passionate about this. I would like to pursue to make a difference in data security, something niche. Number 5. So data security is something that the company might offer to do, but it's not a specific department. If it's an MNC per se, if there's like a bunch of departments and the employer probably, someone who's working in HR, might know a range of jobs available, but they probably don't want to think so much right? They don't want to think so much because they face hundreds of applicants. If you're not sure what you want, why would I look like a matchmaker, is it? So I can't do that. So they can, but they don't want to, probably. So what your job is to do is figure out what you already want, walk in there with what you want in mind, and always keep in mind the first choice, second choice of like opportunities. But obviously, if you fix your mind on something that you want, try your best to take it lah. So, for example, data security is related to risk management, right? How do I know data security is related to risk management? ChatGPT lah. I actually have no idea. I have no idea what the hell data security is. I know like McAfee, whatever lah, but like yeah, literally it. So find a specific relevant department that the company is actually offering. You can find that all on LinkedIn, or not even on LinkedIn. You can find it all on. Exactly. Next. So what if your degree isn't relevant? What if you're applying for a job, but then it's completely not relevant at all? I'm going to give you a very true story. Cable, right? Like I said, I do performing arts, yeah. Performing arts versus a tech startup. It's and some more I'm a partnerships associate, you know. It's like you see my CEO staring at me really nervous lah. Hey guys, give me good review after this. I like man. No. So what is the relevance between my degree versus this? Yes, Cable has given me a platform to use my performing arts background to share my performing arts related knowledge on this so-called stage, somewhat relevant. But the most important thing is to know what you're passionate about. Like what Camilla said, just because you don't have a background in something, and as long as you're passionate towards something, nothing is stopping you. Nothing is stopping you from chasing for what you want. But what if you don't know what you want yet? You don't know what you want yet, and you are at the networking event, you don't know what to say. So without further ado, running a little short time, but like I'll tell you guys, my special tips and tricks that I personally use when it comes to networking and dating. Applicable in both scenarios, So, number 1, conversation starters. Okay, this is literally the conversation prompts that you can literally say. If you don't want to say any of that to the employers, you can say this also. If you can't remember the teh tarik system, you can't remember what teh tarik ingredients are. Well, then something wrong with you lah. You forget what teh tarik is made of: condensed milk, water, tea, simple lah. This one, very easy. Say for example, the employer said something. The employer is speaking in a group setting, and he's talking about a specific topic. And there is no definitive answer on how you can do this, but if you feel that it's the right time to say something, you can walk up and say, I like your point on this, and give your comment on it, your view on it. As simple as that. I like and I think. This is probably the easiest prompt and conversation starter, not just with an employer. Just walk up to them. Say, for example, give me a random topic that the guy might be talking about. Anything. ChatGPT. Okay. Cool. Thank you. So, okay. I can't say that I like ChatGPT, right? I mean, like, okay. Say, for example, the employer is talking about, wow, a lot of people nowadays, right? Their CVs they should crafted by ChatGPT. Perfecto English, nothing problem at all, right? You can walk in and say, I like ChatGPT, and I think it's an incredible, useful tool to give graduates an idea of what they want in life. But don't you think that if they all rely on ChatGPT itself, wouldn't that just decimate or destroy a fresh graduate's creativity? So ask you a question. I think about something and ask a question. Simple as that. Number two, I am A. What are you? What do you identify as? Okay, wait, no, that came out wrong. Okay, I am a software engineer graduate, right? So can my skills make an impact in your company? This is very general. If you literally don't know what to say, you can say this lah. Can my skills make an impact in your company? It's very general. I highly suggest you not to say this, but why is this here? Is because if you can't think of anything else, just tell them, I am this. Can I make a difference in your company? Say with me. Can I make a difference in your company? People online, can I make a difference in your company? Yeah, thank you. It's like I'm like Dora, you know, like delicioso. Okay. Now, number three, a lot of people ask about say something positive. Okay, but what are the negatives to avoid? So this would usually be within if you're having a conversation already and you don't know what else to ask the employer. So a lot of people might actually ask the employers, what are good qualities that you're looking for? Now, this you should already know lah. You should already know the good qualities. But what are the negative things that you should avoid? Because, okay, it is very easy to spread rumors versus telling the truth. Isn't telling rumors or lies much easier? A lot of people like to talk behind other people's back. People like to gossip. So if you ask them, excuse me, sir, what are some negative things to avoid? They will have a lot of things to tell you about what you should avoid. Let me tell you, my intern last time, right, he ate banana, but then he left the banana in the toilet, because he couldn't find the dustbin. True story, that happened, Not at this company, okay, somewhere else. So yeah, ask about something. A lot of people ask for something positive, but what are the negative things that people in my position that I'm applying for should avoid? Okay? Now, ask open-ended questions. Commentable statement. Commentable is not a word, I think. So, ask open-ended questions that allows them to comment on your points. Alright? Now, number 5, for a little bit of fun. Now, my teammates actually reviewed through the slides with me and they said that this is highly suggested not to say. But I, as the speaker, right, I think it still holds some relevance. Why? If you walk up to an employer and says that, excuse me, I'm a time traveler. I come from 5 years in the future, and you say whatever you want, and I was the CEO at your company. If the employee doesn't laugh or find it funny, even if they don't laugh, but they say, oh, nice one. But if they don't laugh at all, I myself, someone from a creative background, I wouldn't want to work at the company. Why? Now you might think that, fine, the person that I'm talking to, it might not be the, say for example, out of the context of the networking session, they might not be the industry leader, they might not even be the employer, they might just be one of the HR fellas, per se, of the company. They don't know the company. But if the company environment that you're working in is just not even laid, it's not laid back, it's so uptight, and I wouldn't say like they're so uptight, and it's like they can't even take a simple joke as this. Like, what even is the point? What even is the point of working there? Like, one fun thing that I can say about cable is that we do something called what's for lunch. Something as simple as what's for lunch. What is what's for lunch actually? So essentially at 11:30 a.m. every single day, my company Cable would at 11:30 sharp we would shout, "What's for lunch?" Okay. So the last person to say what's for lunch had to pick out where to go for lunch. Sorry, something where my eyes. I have to close my eyes for a while. But yeah. Essentially it. So if the company that you're telling this to, the person representing the company per se, and they just couldn't get the joke whatsoever, I don't know about you, whether if you want to still work there or not, but I wouldn't. If it's like not funny at all, I mean, this is a decent joke. Even if they don't find it funny and they don't laugh, they're like, oh, okay, good joke, I understood your joke. If they just like, that's not funny, why would I want to be interested in this company anymore? So it's a good way to check the credibility. Yeah.
33.
Next. Okay. Now, what do you see here? To fair line. When you go for a networking event, right? Chances are there'll be food, high tea, whatever, coffee, tea, right? when you think about this, you think about fair time. How most networking sessions will go is that you go in, take the food, you line up, take the food, you sit back down. Okay, and then you network with the people on your table. Is that right? Yeah. No, absolutely not. Because this is so fun, man. The buffet line is actually the safe haven. Why? For both extroverts and introverts. I'm ENFJ lah, so I'm 70% extroverted. But like, I can understand because I used to be an introvert as well, that I do not want to talk to anybody else whatsoever. You might be wondering, but I want to network also. I want to make certain connections in life. How do I do that? Very simple. When you are at the buffet line, right? Very easy. Imagine this. There's okay, people online, try to picture this, yeah? There is chicken fingers, satay, lemang, and char kway teow. Very random stuff. Now, you will line up in a straight line, right? Treat this like school, huh? So you walk up. Very easy. Very easy, really, guys. Write this down if you want to. I mean, please write this down. It's very important. You grab the tongs, the scoopy thingy, right? The spoon. Scoopy thingy, right? You scoop some. Don't scoop char kway teow lah. Let's scoop something very easy to pick up, like popiah or like a satay to say. Take the satay. Don't bring it back to the table, huh? Don't bring it back to the table. What are you gonna do? You take a bite immediately. Hopefully it's good, hopefully it tastes nice, right? Take a bite. Picture this, guys. Picture this. Do this with me. Grab a satay. Yum. Thank you. Delicious, right? Turn to the people behind you and say, wow, this is fantastic. Can I grab you one? Settled already. You guys will start talking about the satay, and before you know it, you're talking about the company. Then you're asking me, Scott, what if the satay tastes terrible? Same thing. Grab the satay, take a bite, don't spit it out. Okay? Turn to the people behind you and say, oh my goodness, please do not take this satay, okay? Let me get you some char kway teow instead. Okay? I hope, now this is the keyword. I hope, I help you, sorry. Luckily, the event, the networking session, is not as bad as this satay. You guys can then talk about the networking event. You can talk about the satay, how bad it is if you want. You can talk about the different types of satay. You know, ampang satay, kajang satay, how the satay differs, I have no idea. What's the difference? I have no idea actually. But yeah, some is using like charcoal, some is using gas stove, right? Talk about that. That is relevant. That is so relevant. You will find a way to link it back towards what you want. It might be an employer, it might be a stranger. Literally, that's how it starts. Once I went up on a buffet line. I grabbed some seafood popiah. I looked towards the side, I saw a cockroach come out, you know. Wow, so angry. And this was at a 5-star hotel some more. I turned around to the person behind me and said, guys, go and grab the popiah. There's a cockroach there, man. Half the line disappeared. The other half that stayed, right? I told them, okay, how about we go to a different one? My goodness, can you believe such a high-class place have a cockroach, right? Wow, how can I do that? So we went to a different place. After that, we just continued talking about environment, event management. We link event management to the networking session. Boom, we start talking about networking session and, oh, by the way, my name is Scott, blah, 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 blah. Simple as that. Okay? You guys got it, yeah? Positive and negatives. Satay is delicious, satay is, I can't say that. Satay is bad. Yeah. Now, comes to the coffee and tea session. Very simple. Water dispenser, coffee dispenser, tea dispenser, or something. Last time I went for this networking event, my team and I discovered something called a pomelo lychee blue color drink. I don't know what that is now. So because the drink was so weird, right? I just asked the people behind me, like, what is this exactly here? Like, hey bro, can you have a taste? Let me know what you think. We talk about the how different the tea tastes. You link the tea to the environment. So by the way, you like the event so far. You can link everything back. Everything is interconnected. Do you guys ever see those TikToks? I don't use TikTok, but like videos. Yeah, videos of someone linking a person from Wikipedia from one topic to another topic that's completely relevant. That's literally the same thing that you can do in a conversation. When it comes to the coffee and tea session, as an introvert, right, I would say this is an introvert safe haven. Why? Why? Very simple. You walk up, you fill up a cup of coffee, you take the coffee, you say, can I pour you a glass? Can I offer you a glass? It's as simple as that. Okay, even if you're an introvert, you don't have to say anything else. You don't have to comment about how bad he is. Just say, can I pour you a glass? Now, doing that itself, you get a pretty decent chance of someone speaking to you. But what if you don't want this person to speak to you? Grab your own cup of coffee or tea, walk towards the corner, don't take out your phone, yeah? Just sip the tea. And look up. Now, a lot of humans, the behaviors are almost all the same. For those people, anyone here studying psychology? Anyone? Psychology? No, yes. Why take so long to answer? Okay, people online got psychology, yeah. Okay, good. So, no, I haven't replied yet. Okay, so if you notice someone who is out in the audience, right? Either they are standing at the table by themselves, sitting in the corner by themselves, and they take out their phone, swipe a bit, put it back in their pocket. Take it out again after a few seconds, swipe a bit, put it back in their pocket. They are not busy, okay? They're not. They are just killing time. And these people, if you want, you can walk up and start a conversation with them. They are more than happy to talk to you. Why? Because they're fidgety. They have nothing else better to do. But then take out the phone and pretend they're acting busy. They're busy. What if someone is actually on their phone? Would you approach them? No, because they might be actually busy. Like they're actually doing something serious. They could be doing something serious. We don't know. And what if someone is in a group? How do you approach somebody in a group setting? How? Because they might already be from the same company. You don't know. You want to be a part of the conversation. One very simple thing I do is just literally say either I like and I think, or just cut the I like and just say I think it's interesting. And immediately you're just part of the group already. Imagine you guys are talking about huh? Godzilla. Godzilla and chai. Okay, let's just say Godzilla, monster, and masala chai. Very different things, right? But let's just say some people are talking about those two things, totally irrelevant topics that you have no comprehension on. You can simply just walk up to them with your tea in hand and just say that, I'm not sure this works, but then probably tea might defeat Godzilla. Something so absurd. If you come out with something absurd, right? I've tried this before, I've tested in certain scenarios. If you say something completely absurd, people will either, if they are actively listening, they might think that, what the hell did you just say? And they might add and comment on that and just build your point. You might be starting off at a bad point for sounding like a total idiot talking about Godzilla and chai, but as long as you're part of the conversation, you can build and work your way around that, right? Now, very simple stuff. Final tips before we end the session, okay? Is the what to bring. What do you bring to a networking event? Now, a lot of people say the same tips. Natural, be yourself. When I asked my friend who is an MC, because I was MCing an event, I was like, hey, any tips, sir? She said, it's very cliche, but seriously, just be yourself. As long as you're authentic to your own true nature, other companies will like you for who you are, and therefore might hire you to be their MC in the future. So remove the facade, leave your fancy, don't walk up there and start speaking with an accent, because when I'm nervous, I have a very strong English accent. Like if you notice in the beginning, I speak with a rather tough English accent, so basically to leave the accent at home. So yeah, essentially next essentially next point, right? Next point, okay, and don't sound too Malaysian also. Like I mean, it's very important to have like your Manglish and Singlish around if you're from Singapore, but like still, act natural, be yourself. Okay? Now, dress to impress. What do you consider? Now, for many of you attending the event, you might be confused on the term smart casual or business casual. Or what is smart? What is considered smart? Is what I'm wearing considered smart or not? Yes, it is. Why? Why? It's very debatable. Very debatable. Now, for the gents in this room, right? As long as you either have something with a collar on. Okay, a t-shirt and jeans, right? Somehow it's borderline almost smart casual, almost, but it's not really smart casual. But it's very debatable. If you search online, right, people will say very simple and smart casual, polo t-shirt and jeans, that is smart casual. If you wear something like Furby, right, Furby that, if you guys might have seen just now, he was wearing a vest, t-shirt and tie. Is that too formal? I don't think so. I think it's okay because the tie is unique. Okay? So if you wear something that people can remember you by, you already make a good impression by wearing something interesting. Now I remember back when it was 2016 or 2017 at the International Public Speaking Championships, right, in London. I wasn't there because they were showing the live stream. But this guy just showed up wearing a rainbow shirt, That usually was like patterned out nicely, like not just the rainbow colors, but literally all the colors. Literally, like you're fine now, rainbow colors now, right? And he was just, I don't even remember what he said in his speech, but because his suit was just so memorable, it just made a lasting impression in my memory. And that itself is essential for you to make a good impression. Okay, so dress to impress. But don't go and wear something that you're not comfortable in. Because if you're not comfortable in it, you cannot perform right. So making a good impression is one thing, but if you're like scratchy, it's too tight, leave the suit at home. Be calm who you are in the first point. Okay? Move the facade, reveal your true self. Also, not being hypocritical, yeah? Wear what you're comfortable at, or what you yourself will feel impressed looking at. Now, attitude-wise, be someone that you yourself would like to meet. I love this term that people say, attitude equals to altitude. Like, you think about a plane, right? The lower the cruising altitude is, the either you're landing or you're about to crash, right? But the higher altitude you are, the safer you are, most probably. I don't know how to fly, but yeah. As long as you maintain an attitude that you yourself feel that you're okay with, like someone else, like Isaac mentioned just now, being arrogant, right? As long as you maintain humility, humble, good attitude, smiling, that's someone you yourself would like to shake hands with, to meet, to connect with on LinkedIn. You're good enough. That's good. Now, when it comes to the event itself, it's very simple on what you need to bring. Besides bringing yourself, a notebook maybe like some of you brought, thank you very much, taking down notes. It's literally your phone and your charger, all back lah. Okay? Because why? You don't need a bunch of CDs. Like one thing I used to do is when I give out CDs is that I actually gave out my CDs in the sense that I actually sent my CDs. Which means I either perfume it with like a bunch of roses, I put my CDs in a box of roses, yeah, or I spray perfume at it. So that when I give my CD to the employer, right, they look at it and they're like, wow, it smells good. And I wear the same perfume that day, so that they remember me. Smart tactic lah. Not only that, I should bring very little CDs. So that, limited amount, right, equals, your higher value lah, right? Like, what does the world of economy say? Yeah, supply and demand. That's right. Low supply, high demand. That's what I wanted to share. But in this case, very easy for all of you. No need to bring CD. The CD is your cable app. If you guys haven't downloaded the app yet, I will be pretty surprised. But to the people online, yeah, you can scan this QR code here, right here. Scan this one and scan it out. Take out your phones. Stop swiping on Tinder and start swiping here. Yep. Okay, you put the link on. Thank you. Okay. Okay. Anyway, essentially it. Now, many of you would probably, if not already, start asking, right? Does attending this masterclass come with a certificate of participation? Good question. Does it or not? No, right? Okay, how many of you here want a certificate of participation? Be honest, even those people online want a certificate of participation. Anybody here? No. Okay. Yeah, I can tell a lot of you people want like certificate of participation, right? But one thing which I always hated, because I did a lot of extracurricular stuff, competitions, per se. Competitions, I represented Malaysia God knows how many times already. To the sense that I'm almost frustrated if you notice, fun fact, my level of certificate of participation right, is almost the size of a book. But let me tell you something. In the real world, in the professional world, your certificate of participation doesn't mean anything unless you win. No, seriously. If you took part in a competition and you got top 10, right? Or like finalists, it's not important. It doesn't matter because there's so many finalists. Even if you literally just participated, you didn't even get past the quarterfinals, right? It's like a dime a dozen. But instead, what I can offer to all of you is not a certificate of participation. Okay? Now, maybe the networking session itself, right? We might offer certificate of participations, right? For the networking event. No, not itself. You know why we're not offering or not? Let me tell you why. Because I want to offer you guys something much more worthwhile than a certificate of participation that you would probably never print out, probably never show anybody, right? I want you guys to do something very simple. Who here doesn't have a smartphone? Literally. Who here came here without bringing a smartphone? Anybody? Nobody, right? Precisely. Fantastic. So what I want you guys to do is, a certificate of participation shows that you participated, you went through this program. As simple as that. You went through this program, and then you went home, right? That means you were there lah. You just literally certificate of participation means that you showed up. What I want for you guys, especially to all of you guys here today physically, and even those people at home, please, very simple only, whip out your phones. Not now. Whip out your phone. Thank you for your active participation, bro. But you whip out your phones, and then you make a personal statement, a personal goal. Remember, I told you guys to write down your professional goals in the beginning, right? Now, figure out either a bigger or smaller goal, depending on how big your goal is. Say, for example, your goal is to become the CEO of Google. It's not impossible. Okay, that's not joke lah. Pretty hard lah, but not impossible lah, I would say. Like once, I was challenged to run a marathon without training. Not run lah. You said you can walk also. You walk 42 kilometers in one day without training, I'll be impressed. I was so fat lah, you know. Ended up walking 65. No problem, easy. I mean, my legs were about to break like when you walk home. But what I want you guys here to do today is take out your phone, take a picture of yourself here, or maybe find a buddy, right? Take a picture of yourself and come up with a goal that you have learned something. If you have learned something from here, write it down. Write it down. Not only write it down, come up with the goal in mind of what you want to achieve within the next 5 years. Okay? The next 5 years, if you have achieved that goal, post it on your LinkedIn, whatever. And then the next 5 years, if you achieve the goal, say for example, you want to make 50,000 ringgit a month. Within the next 5 years, I'm going to achieve that goal. If 5 years later you did achieve that goal using whatever means necessary, I don't mean like stabbing other people's back or whatever, but like if you achieve that goal, 50K a month, you tag me, you tag Cable, you tag Credo, says, guys, I've achieved my dream. Okay? How's that? Maybe we'll buy you lunch. 5 years from now. Maybe lah. But literally that's it for now. Thank you very much guys for attending. Any questions? Any Q&A? Somebody needs to go, no problem. Q&A for 5 minutes. For those people online, you can ask any questions. Any questions whatsoever. There's no such thing as stupid questions. Yes?
So I would say I have confidence to start a competition.
Okay.
But I pretty weak at carrying it and even worse at admin.
Okay.
Any tips for that?
Yep. Very simple. Quickly. 3 words. Don't say anything. Say for example, you're in a conversation, right? And let's just say you and the other person just decide to stop talking. You don't have to say something to fill in the gap. It's not a necessity. You can just say absolutely nothing. Don't go and walk away lah. But if you want to walk away, then just say, oh, sorry, please excuse me. Right? Now, very simple, like I think I missed out on this part when it comes to the fair line. Sorry? Oh, sorry. When it comes to the buffet line, very simple. If you took, right? I mean this one, tea time. You took a cup of coffee, right? And for example, your conversation lah, if you feel like it's getting short already, you faster drink your coffee. Drink already, right? And after that, if you're really nothing to say and you don't feel like standing there, which is perfectly fine to do so, but I myself, as much as I would like to think I'm quite confident, I also feel like, wow, very damn awkward leh. I want to get out of this situation as fast as possible. Finish your coffee, say, please excuse me, I need to refresh my glass. And then you walk away. As simple as that. Easiest way to get out of the conversation. Just walk out with your glass. But of course, you bring your glass with you lah. With the plate, the mini plate, right? You have to bring that with you. If you don't, then you have to stand there lah. You just be brave lah. Stand there. Nothing wrong with not saying anything. Nothing wrong. Hope that answers your question. Anybody else have any other question?
I think you can also like try to ask questions, right? Think about questions that you are curious about with the company, with the industry, or like say conversation starter, right? If let's say the speaker has talked about certain topic during some session before that, or you have joined coffee chat. Have you joined coffee chat? No. Okay. So before this, we had a series of coffee chat. All the speakers were talking about a topic, right? So you can actually ask certain questions to say like, okay, I think that as a fresh grad, I don't have, ask for advice, right? I don't have this experience, what do you think I can do, right? So you can ask questions about anything about industry, about the role, or about career advice, right? Or something very interesting that ask speakers as well, right? If let's say there's one thing that, or there's one mistake that fresh grad commonly made, right? What is it, right? Ask their advice. Right, they'll be very happy to share with you.
Okay, we've got one question. What if I'm looking to apply for a different job from Aya? Sorry, my leg's cramping. I need to sit down. During the no, absolutely not. If you guys are in the live stream, let me just repeat the question. What if I'm looking to apply for different job positions to keep my options open during the event? If I'm seen talking to different employers, will it be seen as a lack of commitment to other companies? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It's only natural if you go to the event to mingle around and meet as many companies as possible. And most of the time, the companies themselves won't even notice you talking to other people because they'll be busy talking to other people that want to talk to them. Okay? No worries at all. Any questions? At all. Any questions whatsoever. There is no question that I cannot answer. Unless you ask me about religion, politics, that one I cannot touch lah, obviously. Yeah, but anything else besides that, I'll try my best to answer it. This is your moment, your chance. Yes?
What are the best ways to actually get out of the feeling nervousness when you're trying to make a talk, make a conversation?
Good question. To those people to the viewers online, he asked what to do to avoid nervousness, right? Essentially, what to avoid nervousness. One thing that I like to do, especially when I had public speaking competition, right, is to do something is to do something, right? Like, see for example, I'm jittery, right, I'm nervous, right, what do? I do something stupid. Because, study psychology, right, there's something called upward social comparison and downward social comparison. In a social scenario, if you compare what you've done in the past, like say for example, actually not the same thing, but social comparison is like, if like somebody else is not as smart as you, but you compare your level of intelligence to someone not as smart as you, you feel better about yourself, right? But I use the same concept, which I don't know the exact name of it, if there is a name, but you compare your actions now, which is say for example, networking with strangers, compared to something you've done in the past. What I like to do is, let's just say if you have a lack of confidence, right? You want to boost up your confidence like the energy drink. Like Red Bull giving you wings, right? The feeling of having wings. Very simple. Okay. I know I say very simple, a lot of times you guys are waiting for me to get to the point. Literally, before the networking event, on the streets, for me, I'm a guy, right? So I'll talk to a girl. I see a girl, very pretty. I will walk up to her and straight away just ask for a number. Without any context whatsoever. Wow, that sounds something like very mind-numbing to do. Something like I'll be really scared to do, right? I mean, like usually, I'm usually rather comfortable talking to women in the sense that I will come up with, please don't use a pickup line, but in this case, use a stupid pickup line. Something really stupid, like, okay, I can't think of any pickup lines at the moment. Like, okay, yeah, let's just say you just tell that person a very stupid pickup line, a very stupid one, then the person definitely will reject you that kind of pickup line. You walk away feeling embarrassed, but at the same time, you feel like, wow, I've done something very stupid already. What can I say during the networking scenario, that networking session that will be more stupid than me telling a stupid pickup line? Probably nothing. Then that's what I do. This is something very stupid. Yeah, very stupid. But otherwise, if you don't want to do something stupid per se, working out, as simple as that. Do a few push-ups, jumping jacks in the bathroom, you're solid. Yeah. Boost up your endorphins. Next question. Yeah.
So let's say the employer is talking to someone. Would it be rude if I join the conversation?
Debatable. Sometimes it might be, depending on the context of the conversation. If he's talking about something general, per se, then you can jump in. But if you notice the employer is talking about another person's scenario or situation per se, like if the person is like asking about, I have a degree in events management, is it possible that I can fit into a role of a strategist in your company? And the employer is telling personal advice based on the person's personal scenario, and you want to jump in. It might not be advisable because the person is not asking for your advice, it's asking for the employer's advice. So it depends on the context of the conversation, I would say. Yeah. Sweet. Next question. Any questions on mine? Yes, oh sorry. Never mind. Person at the back, yes.
Okay, how do you think sense of humor apply in networking? Is it compulsory? Is it optional or is something that we can sense of humor?
Sense of humor, yes. Like I mentioned this before, right? With the time traveler joke, right? If you, take care. If you have a sense of humor, if having a sense of humor is part of your personality, and you want a community, your future company, to support you and your memes per se, then go for it. If the person there does not share the same feeling, but you still want to work at the company, you can try maybe either a different department, But if the vibes are wrong, well, I wouldn't say leave lah, just quit. But yeah, yes, follow up. Yeah.
So what if it's not sense of humor is not part of the personality? Right?
Oh. No. Just be yourself. Yeah. Like it's as simple as that. Yeah. Right. I'm just getting water. Yeah. Being yourself, being true to your own nature, and not keeping up. Say for example, you did display a fake sense of humor. You wouldn't want to continue. Say for example, you do end up working at the company, right? You wouldn't be expected to keep telling jokes, even if it's not part of your sense of humor. And then eventually, even when you become the president of the company, you still have a dry sense of humor, but you still try your best to do it. But if that's not who you are, then don't lah. Alright, thanks. Yes.
So I guess I have to preface that this may be a dumb question.
No, question. Go ahead, shoot.
Because for Thursday's session, I was planning to come in and maybe added and come in and have a look at what companies will be there, and if I find a company or companies that I find interesting, then maybe I'll approach them. But I guess in hindsight, it might not be the best way to approach it, I guess, because he said something about get to know the company first, and before you talk to them. Yeah, okay.
Hey,
what's your take on that?
Okay, his question, let me rephrase that in case you guys didn't hear that. Is that, sorry, what's your name again? Zaki. Zaki, right? Yeah, Zaki asked, what if he goes towards the networking session without preparation in mind of who the speaker are, or whatever, but he just wants to go there to experience it. Is that right? Something like that, right?
Yeah.
Just go there, check it out, see what employers are there. It might be very hypocritical of me to say it in this way, but it's essentially completely fine. I'm just saying that if you already do your background research, let's just say you did. Let's just say you did lah. For the sake of your career, your future, right? Your professional future. If you did the research and all of a sudden you thought, oh my goodness, I didn't even realize this company is there and I really want to talk to them. If you prepared in advance, it's fine. Even if you just skim through the employers, you might see an employer you want to talk to, or a person within the company you want to talk to, and that's I think that's really good that you do your research. But if you want to you like to be surprised, just show up, right? If you go shop for something with no expectations, it might be hard for you to gain any value out of it. I mean, although you would go through the sessions, ask me anything, whatever, and then you will definitely learn something if you choose to take down notes, try to absorb as much information as you can. But I feel that if you prepare and come with an objective in mind, it's much easier and much more productive that way. Yeah. Sweet. Any questions online? Per se? No? Oh, yeah, right. Okay, yes.
Yeah, I think this is a follow-up question for.
Thank you. Who is that?
Okay, Zach. Okay, yeah, so actually, I'm aware that this event, or to say the networking event, will be mainly for fresh graduate, secure their first job or something. Yeah, over here, I'm just a first year student actually, so I think my main objective would be to land a job in that networking session. So instead, what kind of objective do you want to set? What kind of target is set to make the most out of this networking session as a first year student?
You might have missed during the introduction slides, but I actually talked about setting your own objectives out of it. So if you go towards the event and you are not particularly looking for your first job, because you will not only network with employers, mind you, you will actually network with two different people like you who might or might not be fresh grads, and as well as mentors. So through that, you can find mentors that might be able to support your journey as a first year student, right? Or you could find other your peers that might lift you up in that journey of yours as well into the professional world. You guys can grow together. I think that's literally what's so positive and what's so good about life is that we don't really know what to expect out of it. Although this event has certain guidelines and stuff of what we want to achieve, we never can expect who might show up. So and what we might actually get out of it. So I would say just go with an open mind. If possible, do your research on the employers. Like even if you might not be looking for a job, you could find a mentor or maybe a friend. Yeah.
All right, really guys. Thank you.
Thanks, no problem. Any questions online? If not, we can wrap up because it's way over time already.
Yeah.
Yes, let's Shiva, ask a question.
There are millions of companies.
Millions of
Millions of companies are there. And the websites, job websites are there. So you might apply, you get the call letter, or maybe you get something like that. So you look to see the interviewer, and also you go to pursue the interview. When you pursue the interview, you face some challenges like speaking face to face. So introduce yourself, and if you go and succeed, maybe you go to the other.
Great question,
And
Shiva.
also I would like to say that
Yes.
the problem is when you do checking each and every interview like year and year, maybe you fail, maybe you succeed. But the thing is, the problem is you do not sell the same story to the same person, or maybe the same story. You need to create your own story, or maybe like you have the connectivity, like social networking as a LinkedIn, resumes, and other things. So how would you like to describe if you are failed in continuous manner?
Right.
If you want to succeed,
Yeah, thanks for your question. I know you said a lot of things, but let me try to sum it up. If I'm wrong, please do correct me. It's essentially about the turbulence of the hiring process, right? And how do you tell your story per se? Is that? Did I miss anything?
Something like
Something like that, right?
Yeah.
So it's actually there's a very simple solution towards this. towards the hiring process already. Some of you might already see where I'm getting at. But essentially, it's as simple as 3 steps. 3 steps. The first step is download the Cable app. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. Literally, the Cable app itself, right, literally minimizes almost every single obstacle that you have mentioned, which it essentially bridges the divide of like making a good first impression, like your CV is there. Also, our proprietary system actually connects a suitable candidate to a suitable employer. So you will not have to worry about how suitable you might think you are, because the software does it already for you. And along with a lot of the obstacles, I'm not a very techy person, so I wouldn't know the specifics. I do apologize in regards to the application, but literally, it's literally a solution that will solve 90% of the problems that you mentioned. But if it comes to getting up on your back on your feet, for example, if you do schedule a virtual interview or online or a face-to-face interview, let's say, and you're unsure of what to say, one very important thing is that just have an open mind and keep a positive attitude, because as long as you're positive between it, if the person chooses not to hire you, it's completely fine. Just move on. It's all right. Just keep moving. As long as you keep progressing, you're continuously growing. That's as simple as that. Yeah. Sweet. I think we can take maybe one more last question. Last one. Anybody online? Nobody. No one in.
I think maybe just to sum up what Scott said, right? Because this session is specifically for networking, so we'll advise more towards like what we can do during networking. But in regards to other questions about applying for job, interview, resume, somebody asked about salary negotiation online, right? You can actually refer to our previous coffee chat, which is on Cable app. We actually upload all the sessions that we did, 20 sessions, just last month. Right, then these are CEOs and leaders who have given tips on the whole entire career advice about tech, about AI or digital marketing or certain fields, right? So you can actually watch all these videos on QI. Right, I think currently what we are doing on networking to prep you for a networking event on Thursday, this coming Thursday, you guys are going. Right, you don't have to worry too much, especially if you're asked about, how I'm too nervous. What do I do, right? Right? Because this networking event is specifically curated for students, right? And like Amelia said, as students, you actually have the privilege because you are fresh grads, and all the CEOs and leaders, they know that. So they will definitely give you, you can always, just be yourself, because you are fresh grad for that 2 years limit only. After 2 years, then you're not qualified as fresh grad already. So within these 2 years, take advantage of you being fresh grads and go and try new things, right? Go and just ask questions, be curious. Sometimes when you don't ask, you don't really know what will come out from there, right? So if you're nervous, don't worry. Everybody all the other students are as nervous as you, right? So just try your best and then prep yourself, right? Prepare your elevator pitch. Prepare. We will actually send you a networking playbook after this, right, as soon as possible, so you can look through all the employers that are going to be there, right? Do your homework. We actually put the photo of the employer, which company and which industry, and a short summary of industry. Actually, we are doing a lot of this to actually prepare you for the networking event. So for this networking event, it's okay because it's your first time, and don't worry, we are all there to actually help you. So if you are not sure about what to do, what to say, always come to us. Cable t-shirt. Yeah, so we'll always help you. Yeah.
It's also very important to highlight one very important thing that I missed out on. Is actually this. You can actually, I think the networking event registration closed already, right?
Yeah.
So, but please do scan this for the access to our Cable blog, which we have included a bunch of articles ranging from personal development to like interview skills, etc.
Yeah.
And written by obviously qualified professionals. So yeah, do check that out for additional tips now.
Yes. Alternatively, it's also on Cable app. the articles and also the video on the coffee chat. So like mentioned, there are actually a few quite interesting ones that you can actually watch before you go to the event. Yeah, just to maybe you aim a certain speaker who happens to be there, then you say, okay, I'll watch your coffee chat, right? That's the conversation start.
Thank you very much. Oh, thank you very much, you guys, for attending. Hope you guys learned something. Thank you guys for participating in online. Your comfy homes. Bye. Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. How many times do I need to say bye? Bye. Okay.